Hi everyone, I'm Kate Valentina and I usually write romance.
Hi, my name is Nicha. I'm currently writing an adult witchy romantasy titled Bewitched.
But today we're going to be swapping genres, giving each other prompts and having to write an entire scene 3 pages long from scratch. So if you don't know me, I'm writing a book called The Tide Always Comes Back and I'm hoping to publish it in the summer of 2026, but only with your help. It's a mature young adult contemporary romance novel set on the coast of England and has diverse characters and mystery elements. Think Outer Banks meets The Summer I Turned Pretty, meets Cruel Summer, meets Blood on Water, meets... you get the vibe. And over the next few weeks, I'm collaborating with my favourite AuthorTubers here on YouTube to create an AuthorTube collab series in order to raise money for publishing this book. So if at any point you're watching this video and you're thinking, I'd really love to read Kato's writing one day, or if you're thinking, damn, these struggling writers need help, then you can donate to my crowdfund. It will be in the link in the description. It will also be in a QR code, probably on this side of the screen, maybe on that side. No donation is without a perk, no donation is without a prize, so make sure you go check out the link and see the goodies that you can get. You can quite literally buy the book right now. By the way, you can literally buy the book right now as we speak. I'm gonna leave you alone now because some of you just wanted to watch the video. Let's see if I can write romantasy. I'm scared. Let's find out the prompt that Nicha gave me.
I'm planning to traditionally publish in the future. On YouTube, I post about my journey through writing and editing this book, and I also make book videos because I like to read. Because I'm writing a romantasy, that is also the genre that I have given to Kato today, and the prompt I've given her is a fan favorite, actually. It's a knife to throat scene. I'm really excited to see what she comes up with, and I know you guys probably are as well. That's it from me, back to Kato.
So for a knife to the throat scene, whilst I was on call to Nicha, we kind of threw around the idea of it being a training sequence. So I ended up deciding on doing a training sequence scene. Knife to throat, it gives romantasy. So there should be a male main character and a female main character. So for the female main character, one of my favorite fantasy books ever is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. That's like my favorite ever fantasy books. And I love how the main character in that book has like white hair and she's just so powerful. I think she has blue eyes. I didn't go for blue eyes. I actually wanted to go for red eyes. None of these characters have names. We're actually going to use, like I have my laptop here, I'm going to use a random name generator and we're going to decide what the characters' names are going to be. The male main character actually has no distinguishing features. So far, I don't really care what he looks like. Also, the name of the lands. The premise is that they have to fight. So the elder has like called them up to the mat and they have to fight against each other. But she's like this really powerful. She's like the most powerful person. And she just also is gonna happen to be the heir to the throne as well. Just because why not? You know, it's a romantasy scene. It's one scene. Let's throw in all the stops here. He is like from a not so powerful place. He's like from the lower down areas. But in this fighting scene, the professor of like wherever they're training is like, no, you're actually not allowed to use your powers. So that's kind of like the premise. It's like she's actually going to have to overtake him, and then at the end we're somehow going to end up with the knife to throat scene. And I'm kind of thinking she should have the knife to his throat, not the other way around. It's kind of what I'm thinking. So we're going to use a random name generator now to decide the names of the town and the names of the people. Also, I'm in this really cute cafe. I literally live in a city. My uni is in a city and I never have explored this city like ever. Like I just saw this cafe on TikTok and I was like, that's where I live, because I'm always in my room or I'm at uni or I'm like studying. So I just did the random name generators and I'm not gonna lie, the options were not like, I just did the first one that came up, and then out of the list I just picked the ones that like were speaking to me most. So the girl's name is Hayela Silder. Do I need to know how to pronounce the character's name? The boy's name is Kadalor Luchi. In the place that they live in, Retretten. I also wanted to pick a name. When people will say like, what the hell? Or like they would say like, I feel like in fantasies, hell and stuff shouldn't be things that you should be saying in a fantasy. Like you should have fantasy words for that. So I just did a random name generator for that as well. And then I picked Freysia. That's why I ended up going with. So those are the words that we have so far. And now I'm going to use the dialogue that I've already written and write something. never realized how hard it was to write like action scenes. Like romance books don't really have like action and fighting, so like there's parts where they need to fight and I'm like closing my eyes and like trying to map out the scenes in my head because I don't know what I'm doing. It's really difficult actually, and I feel like that's where this scene is gonna lack, because I don't know, like I've never been in a fight before, you know, I've never had a knife to my throat. So I'm gonna move a scene along by writing some flowery prose. Like that one thing about me, I'm gonna write some flowery prose and we're all gonna just pretend, we're all just gonna imagine. Also, this is fantasy and this is fiction, so it doesn't have to be real. Like why are you as a reader actually trying to imagine how the scene is going? And that's not normal. Just take what you see, take what I say and just pretend it makes sense, because it's probably not going to, and you're probably going to be like, how did this person get from here to here to here? But that doesn't matter. Big shout out to fantasy writers, because first of all of these fake words and all of these fake names and then all of these fight scenes, I don't know how you guys do it. Like I'm never ever gonna judge a fantasy, like sometimes I'll read fantasy books and I'm like, this fight scene, this doesn't make sense, or this is too unrealistic, or this is boring, or this is just the fact that you wrote it is enough for me. And I'm gonna start, like all those fantasy books I gave 3 stars, 2 stars, I'm gonna start giving you immediate 5 stars, because writing this action it's actually been the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Also, I decided to change the main character's name. So from the list, the girl names, I just gave her a different last name. So she's now called Tayella Bilkrow, because Tayella Silberb or whatever it was just was not giving. Like literally the first line in the scene is Tayella and what's his name? Cadalor? Tayella and Cadalor to the mat. And then he says her full name in the next line and I was like, Tayella Silberb. No, that ruins the whole flow. So I changed her name to Tayella Bilkrow. I also added in a name for heaven, because I had a name for hell but no name for heaven, and also he's from a specific province, so I made up a name for his province. But Tayella Bilkrow as a name kind of really eats, and she's got white hair, red eyes. He still doesn't even have a face, the boy, because it's from his point of view, so it's from the point of view of the boy, which I love, because I don't know, I just really like even in my novel, when I'm writing from the well, this is a spoiler, kind of. Never mind. But I like writing from the male's point of view because I really love describing women and describing their affection towards women, as opposed to a girl writing fawning over a man. That makes me sick. Guys, I think I finished the scene. I've written 4 pages. Wait, let me just see. Okay, the writing is currently 3.5 pages long, when me and Nicha agreed on 3 maximum. But I actually really like what I've written, so I don't mind that it's so long. But I'm actually excited. I think I'm finished. And it's kind of not bad. I'm gonna add a glossary in at the end, because there are words that I put in here that she's just not gonna know what they mean. Also, guys, I think that you should like this video, because I've never filmed in public before, and I've literally got a mic to my mouth, and this cafe is literally full. Just for now, I couldn't do this talking segment because there was people on the table next to me and behind me, and I was there's people on both sides of me. Before there was just someone on one side, but there's people on both sides, couples on both sides. I was I cannot film, but then luckily they're gone now, which is why I'm filming again. But I think you should like this video for me just putting my embarrassment and social anxiety on the line. Thank you. But wow, when I get home, I'm going to read you guys some of my favorite lines. But yeah, I'm done. I'm actually done with the scene. I'm just going to read through it a few times and then edit it. And then, yeah, scary. Guys, I'm back home. The scene has been edited, and I'm actually so sad that this is not a real book that I'm writing. I was just reading it and I'm I can't lie, I would kind of actually read this book if it was a book like it's giving proper romantasy. And you know what, I don't even usually like reading romantasies because I love like high fantasy books with like subplots of romance. I was going to read you the opening, but I'm sorry, you're going to have to go to Nicha's channel to see the scene, to read the full scene. But I am going to read you some of my favorite lines. So for context, these guys were kind of meant to be like enemies to lovers sort of vibe, but it's not giving enemies to, it's giving like the TikTok girlies would eat this up. I'm gonna give you little snippets of like that represent different things. Okay, so this is like a bit of like setting description. Besides the grueling rain gushing down against the rectangular windows, Wilfred's voice was the only sound heard in the room. Shattered faces so drained of colour that they almost morphed into the concrete walls stared back at him. Hundreds of eyes, all fallen lifeless but hers. Tayella was wide awake. Just like wanted to read like one like background line so like you can kind of understand the context, or I could just tell you the context. Okay, I'll just tell you the context for the next line. So imagine they're fighting those battle scenes, the action. Actually, I was just reading it through and I was like, okay, this isn't terrible. Like, yes, me as a reader, I would like the action to be described in more detail, but we had 3 pages in a dream here. This is a part where like she is like on top of him at this point, like straddled on top of him, just like knocked him over. Heaving, I gave myself a moment to catch my breath. You, hollow inhale. Fight, choked exhale. Well, for someone who's lived. Forget how to breathe because she's looking at me with sterling thunder in her eyes, in a pampered palace their entire life. And then, she responds with, you talk a lot for someone I never gave permission to speak. Because she's the princess, she's royalty, she's like, who is this man and why is he speaking to me? And then, more fighting. He ends up on top of her. He then says, do I have permission to speak to you now, Tayella? He has like a knife like right next to her cheek. Giving romantasy. Okay, so this part is when he's describing her. He's describing her throughout the entire scene and describing everyone, like the setting and everything throughout the entire scene, because I like to like weave description into the scene rather than doing description dialogue, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like that's a normal thing. I'm saying that as if like that's innovative. I feel like most books do that, but that's like my preferred way to write. For context, she's just stepped onto the mat where they're about to fight. She's like arguing with the professor because he's just said, you guys are not allowed to use your powers. And she's like, what do you mean we're not allowed to use our powers? The male main character's spoken and she's just like shot back, and then the professor's like, remember what all equals on the mat? And then this follows shortly after that. I'd never seen the princess up close before. From what I'd heard, I was expecting the reincarnation of a Thracian ruler. With her wavy white hair that draped delicately over her shoulders, I couldn't be sure that the girl in front of me wasn't a celestial body. A member of the Krago province could never be my equal, even if I died and had my ashes trampled into their pathetically fatigued ground. Never mind. She's Thracia itself. Okay, and this is the final bit I'm gonna read out to you because I'm basically in fact I'm giving you too much, and I feel like you need to go and read the entire scene over on Nicha's channel. You need to go hear it. This is later on in the scene. The rain had stopped, or at least I could no longer hear it. I couldn't tell if I was already dead or if Tayella's touch was simply narcoleptic. There was a knife to my throat, a blade itching to carve out my skin, and yet all I could think about was a stony hand pressed firmly around my wrist. That singular grip ignited my every nerve ending. She was mounted above me, a disdainful grin decorating her face, and if I'd even tilted my head incorrectly, I'd lose. Not just this fight, but my life. And then there's more. You guys, obviously the knife to the throat part hasn't happened yet, so you're going to need to go over to Nicha's channel to see how the whole scene plays out from beginning to end. This was so fun to write, and I can't wait to see what Nicha's written. Ladies and gentlemen, now I present to you the moment you've all been waiting for, especially if you came from Nicha's channel. If you came from Nicha's channel, you've probably been like, go get to the reaction. This now is finally time. Remember, if you want to see Nicha react to my scene, and if you yourself want to see the entire romantasy scene that I wrote, you should head over to Nicha's channel. It will be linked in the description below. I'll have it as one of the cards, so you can just click somewhere on the screen and you might be able to watch. Right now I'm going to be reacting to Nicha's prompt, and the prompt that I gave her was a 3rd act breakup. I think those are so staple in romance books. They exist in every single romance book, so I really wanted to see how she wrote one. Guys, I just opened the doc. 2 point of views. Oh my god. I really struggle to read out loud and also comprehend at the same time. I know, it's like I'm a 5-year-old. So what we're going to do instead is I'm going to read this, then I'm going to come back and I'll read it to you. Guys, I just read this and I had to come back. It says, but her sharp features couldn't be more permanent in my mind, and my pen had memorized the strokes to writing her name on letters I had adjusted to fire. Right, so I am gonna quit my writing career before it's too late. This is messy. The thing is, I did tell Nicha, like, it had to be a really yearning, angsty third act breakup resolution, but when I read this to you, he just said, and I quote, "You're scared that you'll walk down that aisle, stand in front of your lover, and somehow your eyes will be drawn to mine." How can you say such a thing? She just said you're being mean, and I immediately thought of Little Women when... Wait, what is her name? Florence Pugh's character Amy says, "You're being mean." No, it was that exact... Nicha, I hope that was a direct reference from Little Women. I don't know if it was, but that was like... that was exceptional. Nicha, darling, you deserve the most dramatic slow clap that has ever slow clapped before. Okay, I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna read it just so you can understand how I felt, and then we're all gonna dissect our feelings together. I love her writing, it's so gorgeous, so gorgeous. Part 1. Levi's point of view. I've imagined this delicate moment so often. Her dickhead fiancé would win his court trial if he ever decides to kill me. The evidence of her loving had shed off my skin, and the years apart, physically, had turned us into strangers. But her sharp features couldn't be more permanent in my mind, and my pen had memorized the strokes to writing her name on the letters I had addressed to fire. Detectives would find preserved memories of my good days, her smile front and center. They'd realize my love was nothing short of obsession. They'd roil my death deserved, and Mr. Fiancé would live on. Just make sure they don't search her mind too. Narcissistically, I know my name is embedded into every treasured corner of her memory. When I saw the pink sealed invitation tucked under my doorway, I couldn't help but pick out my best suit for the occasion, if only to tell her the gold lettering pissed me off. Opening thoughts, first thoughts. Her writing is gorgeous. The whole delicate, the metaphors is just beautiful. Love it, absolutely love it. Also, I can already feel the yearning. It's the start of the scene, I can already feel it, and I know it's only going to get better from here. Also, the part where narcissistically I know her name is embedded, my name is embedded. Yeah, that, 8. And then I also like the humor as well. I love when authors can slip humor into their writing. Okay, next, Ilya's point of view. Also, Levi and Ilya are really nice names. Part 2, Ilya's point of view. You look beautiful in white. 2 knocks on the side of the already open door, and the simple compliment were all it took for my heart to run. The man standing there didn't have to utter any convincing soliloquies or embed doubts in my mind. There was nothing but dust in the home I was close to vowing my life off to. Okay, I low-key feel bad for the fiancé though. The fiancé is clearly engaged to someone who's still in love with her ex. I turned around to face him for the first time in years. In his hand, a pink wedding invitation. My wedding invitation. Why are you here? My brows pinched in frustration. There were hundreds of days he could have chosen, but choosing today was plain cruelty. Couldn't you have chosen a holiday like a normal ex? You know why I'm here, Levi said, drawing out his words as he walked over to where I stood. You're not supposed to come. He waved the invitation, dangling it in front of my eyes. I will tear that damn invitation right now, I seethed, threateningly, reaching out to grab it. Levi only held it higher, a smile tugging on his ridiculous lips before throwing it to the other end of the room. I'm not supposed to come because you can't say yes with me here, he stated casually as if it were a fact. Levi. I'm gonna have problems. Because how can you say that on her wedding day? That is sick. That's actually sick. I gulped, my hands grasping at the edges of the messy vanity table behind me. I hated nothing more than to silently admit that he was right. You're scared that you'll walk down that aisle, stand in front of your lover, and somehow your eyes will be drawn to mine. You can't be so sure, I shot back, my chin raising to look at him straight in the eyes. Mistake. He had always been so vivid in my dreams. It was as if my mind knew we would end badly and memorized every tiny detail down to the waves in his hair and the gap between his teeth to help me survive the lack of him. That's so cute. Now that all those minute details were close enough to touch, I realised my mind never compared to the real thing. Oh, but I am. A cocky grin surfaced on his lips, and I wondered how he found this hilarious. Or was he just confident I'd bend to whatever proposal he had to offer? Our gazes have met often enough, it's become muscle memory. You need to leave. I pushed his chest slightly towards the door. His suit felt like satin under my touch. Leave with me, he urged, hands caging in on either side of my body. Levi, we need to talk, because how can you show up to your ex's wedding day after you haven't responded to any of her letters, you haven't sent her any letters, you haven't sent her anything like that? Show up on her wedding day, you're asking her to leave the wedding with you. Guys, you know that scene from Gossip Girl when Blair is about to get married to Louis and Chuck bursts in and he's like, Blair, I love you, but Blair, I love you. And then the video ends up getting played at the wedding and Blair's like running down in her wedding dress. First of all, I loved that scene. That was real television. But this is giving that vibe. The reminiscent smell of his cologne surrounded me and I swore it bled through my skin and went straight to my brain, clouding my ability to think. Do you really want to spend the rest of your life with him? You may love the way he loves you, but even then, he only feels a sliver of what I feel for you. You're being mean. Showing up today out of all days, breaking into my dressing room. He swallowed, nodding in agreement. Why didn't you write? My words were barely a whisper, but my tone was completely accusatory. He deserved every bit of my bitterness. You told me you would, so why didn't you? Did the pigeon stop flying? Did you run out of paper and ink, and so did every other store in town? A moment passed between us. Accusations of the past hung in the air like poison we were quickly being suffocated. His gaze tore away. You're right, I didn't write to you. His lips parted to say something else, but my voice cut through the air before he could say a single word. You're too late now, I said passingly, venom coating every syllable. Levi didn't say anything else as he nodded ever so slowly, his hands folding into the pockets of his well-ironed pants. My stomach twisted as I watched him give up on me. The threads of the past that tied us up so tightly were coming undone, and I wished nothing more than for the opposite. Everything in the dressing room was clean to perfection, and the lace on my body might have been the most expensive of all. Unsurprisingly, nothing looked pleasing to me except the man who was walking out. His hands lingered on the door frame as he turned around to face me. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I hope you get everything you've ever wanted, but if it isn't all you dreamed of, I'll be here. Just like that, he left. If it wasn't for the red flush of my cheek staring back at me through the mirror, I might have believed I imagined it all. The sounds of his shoes tapped against the marble floor of the hallway. I listened, frozen in place until I couldn't hear him anymore. Then I ran. Then I ran. Anyway, Nicha, that was a 10 out of 10 from me. 5 stars, 6 stars. I could not wait to read your book because this is actually insane. I love how poetic it is, but whilst also being like simple and not too overcomplicated. Like, these are my favorite kinds of books where the prose is just so flowery and like pretty and gorgeous and poetic. Like, Nicha, I don't know if you've written poetry before, but you definitely should, because every word was like meant to be on this page, every single word. But yeah, everyone, there you have it. This brings me to the end of the first ever AuthorTube collab video. I'm so excited for the rest of this series and to be able to see other authors' work, because just this has made me so excited. Like, Nicha, you're insanely talented. And don't forget that this whole series is in order to raise money for self-publishing my debut novel, The Tide Always Comes Back. So if you want to find out more about that, you should definitely check out the link to the crowdfund in the description. It's also in this corner right here, so you can scan that QR code if you're watching on a laptop or your TV, or you just happen to have your phone or another device in hand. You should definitely check it out. I'll be posting 2 times a week for the next few weeks whilst the crowdfund is going on, so make sure you come back really soon. Turn on the post notifications if you have to, so you don't miss out any videos. Who knows, your favorite writer-tuber may be in the next video. But yes, apart from that, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and I will see you very soon for another video. Bye!